Hello, gorgeous people. How are you? Today I'm talking about realities. Shared reality. Is this a shared reality or is it just our reality? I'll tell you all about it on the other side. If you like receiving these videos, please press like and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. It'll really help to move the channel. So, shared realities. So I was listening to somebody the other day who was talking about the fact that we are the only ones who are actually experiencing this reality. Everything else is created around us. So nobody's real. You're not real. I'm the only real one in my reality, okay? I've always struggled with that. But then people say, well, no, this is a shared reality. We're all in it. So I thought, well, why don't I ask what the emissary's take is on that? And so I did. And I said, so look, is this like only my reality and everything is created around me? Or is this a shared reality? And they said, it's a bit of both. How often do the emissaries say that? Yes and no. But what they explained themselves, which I thought was a really good explanation, what they said was that it's a personal reality because of the way that we process reality. So, for example, in any one moment, we are receiving billions of pieces of data and trillions, because we've got trillions of cells. Every cell in our body is giving us data. We're taking in from around us all of this information all the time. And so the brain, given what we like, are the boxes that we ticked, it will present us a reality that is so filtered down that it is miles away from what's really happening. I mean, miles. Kilometers if you live in Europe. So that's the reason why the emissaries were saying, that's the reason why you could class it like an individual reality. So somebody could be at my side and we could observe the same thing, and yet we would observe two very, very different events based on the filters. So our mind deletes, distorts, and changes, right? And it changes what we see based on what we expect to see. So that's one of the reasons, or the emissaries say, that why we could call this an individual reality. But they said also it's a shared reality because we are here together. Even though we're all having distinct experiences, we are sharing it. And what they said was this, it made me think about, for example, if you spend time with somebody you like, somebody you resonate with, and I'll give you the example of, for example, my wife and I. My wife ticks all of my boxes, ticking another box, ticks all of my boxes in terms of being my partner. She's my wife, she's my friend, my confidant, my therapist, everything. And likewise I am to her. And so when we're together, we spend a lot of time together and we have a lot of conversations, and so we resonate many times. And what happens, what I've found, and I'm sure you find this with the right people, sometimes we read one another's mind. Okay? And I heard another person that was talking about this saying, you're not reading the person's mind, you are in it. You are sharing. You're both sharing. And what they was explaining was that when you're with somebody and they resonate, you're in the same frequency. And so what happens is that you are actually picking up on the same things as they are. And so you're sharing a reality, I suppose, unlike two people standing next to one another, totally in different frequencies, seeing totally different things. And so what the emissaries were saying was that when we are in the same frequency as other people, then what happens is we start sharing their reality. And then they went on, which makes sense, doesn't it? They went on to talk about manifesting, right? And again, to use my wife and I as an example, together, for whatever reason, we are able to manifest things really quickly. When we both decide boom, stuff happens. But I'm going to come to that. We do something else as well. But what happens is, I think, when you are both resonating at the same frequency and when you are both focused on the same thing, it gives it double the energy. It gives it double the creativity. And what the emissaries were saying was that you could take 4 people who all want the same thing. Let's say that 4 people want peace on earth, okay? But they said, based on the frequency of that want, if the frequencies are all different, then what's going to happen is they certainly are not going to have a joint manifesting. They said, if one person wants peace on earth because they're scared, so it's coming from fear. One person wants peace on earth because they're frustrated, and that's coming from frustration. Different vibe. One person wants peace on earth because it's coming from arrogance. The arrogance, this year it's going to be a year of arrogance. So what happens is you can have 4 people who are standing next to one another manifesting the same thing, and yet that manifesting power won't come together. Okay, it'll be separate. And so it won't, and what the emissary said is they will manifest peace on earth in a completely different way to each other. It's a different thing that they're manifesting. So they went on to say this: when you share a frequency and when you all focus on the same thing, on desiring the same thing, that's when manifesting power becomes exponential. And I'll give you examples of that. When groups of people, and I know that Harry has been doing this, when groups of people get together with the intention of healing, and they've kind of got themselves into the same frequency, which you can do through group meditation, through just, even the intention is the same frequency of healing, a healing intention. Miracles can happen. Why? Because a group of people can manifest much faster if they're all vibrating in sympathy. Okay? And that sympathetic vibration, which is, the 2 tuning forks, you bang one and the other one starts to vibrate as well. 2 clocks that are out of sync, and then you put them next to one another on the same wall, and then they end up being in sync. That is the power of manifesting. So what's the point of this? The point is that if we want to bring about what we want to bring about, all we need to do is to make sure that we're working to get into the same vibe as everybody else, into the same frequency. What's the frequency? Well, it's love. It's a frequency of love with that intention, the intention of giving love, of living love, of experiencing love and sharing love. And then have the same outcome. What's the outcome? Well, peace on earth, can it be? That's the outcome. That's what we want. Why not? Peace on earth, and we feel love about it. Imagine if everybody started to feel that. Everybody just intended that. One of the problems we've got is that many people are pushing against, I don't want this, and I don't want that, and I don't want the other. But if we just focus on what we want and have the same vibe, the vibe of love, it isn't that hard to get in it. But it's easy to get out of it, It's easy to be taken out of the vibe of love because of the shit that goes on around us. But once we're in it, when you're in that vibe of love, boy, that's the time to start to manifest it. Yeah? And if you can do it in group, beautiful, even better. So the last thing, just in terms of manifestation, I was talking about my wife and I being very good at it. What I've noticed is that, as the expression goes, it seems that the harder I work, the luckier I get. Manifesting is manifesting with the intention and then doing something every day to make that happen. That's when the universe helps you. That's when the universe comes out, steps out and says, you can have it, and you can have it quickly because I can see that you really want it. You've got to show that you want it. Okay, just manifesting for the sake of it and go, it'll come, I trust. It'll come, but it won't come as quickly as if you actually work and do something to make it happen. I love you all, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.